We're starting with breaking news at noon in Lower Manhattan, New York, where in just more than 2 hours, former President Donald Trump will appear in court for his arraignment. It is a historic moment for the nation as he will become the first former U.S. president to be arraigned in court on criminal charges. And right now we have our eyes on live cameras in New York. So here on your left side, that's a live look outside the Trump Tower off Fifth Avenue. That's where Trump is right now. Now, any minute, he is expected to leave to turn himself into the district attorney's office. That is a live camera you're seeing on your right side now, and we have seen law enforcement and crowds lined up anticipating his arrival. Now, we have team coverage for this noon covering this historic moment, starting with NBC's Jay Gray with the latest from outside the DA's office.
Well, crowds are gathering outside the courthouse, including a handful of protesters on both sides of this highly controversial, highly emotional case. Let's talk a little bit about what's going to go on inside the courthouse. The former president will travel here from Trump Tower. He will surrender to authorities and be formally arrested. No handcuffs, but he will be read his rights and fingerprinted. Then agents will take him to a courtroom for his arraignment on what sources tell us will be around 30 charges in this case. Details of those charges, exactly what he'll be facing, which counts, we'll know after the arraignment. The entire court process will only take a few minutes, and then the former president says he is headed straight back to Florida, where he will at some point later this evening discuss the day's events. That will happen at Mar-a-Lago. We do expect to also hear from New York's district attorney, the man bringing these charges, Alvin Bragg. In fact, he is scheduled to discuss the case during a press briefing just after the arraignment. Now, we'll continue to monitor things here on the ground. Get back to you with the latest. For now, though, I'm Jay Gray in New York. Back to you.
Well, right now, as we await former President Trump being formally arrested and arraigned, we want to bring in Chuck Todd, moderator of Meet the Press. Hey, Chuck, you know, this is expected to be a short arraignment, but what can we expect and what do we know about the charges so far?
Well, look, we don't know specifically how many felony charges there'll be. It's likely to probably just be one. Everything else might be a misdemeanor level. That's number one. I expect that most of the charges will be sort of repetitive, meaning, you know, you'll hear 34 counts, let's say, and 33 of them, it may be that there are 3 counts per every check that Donald Trump signed to reimburse Michael Cohen. There were 11 checks, so there may be 3 counts per check, right? So that could be 33 of the 34, if it is indeed 34. So just to give you a sense of how this could get laid out. Again, we expect to see the full indictment at least at some point today. And the real open question is, what is the felony charge? How novel is the charge? When I say novel, in that it's our understanding that whatever they do charge him with on a felony level, it'll be the first time a New York state court has tried to do this, or a New York prosecutor's tried to do this. And it's going to be the first charge that Trump's attorneys try to get thrown out. And it'll probably be the most important hearing before the trial itself, if there is a trial, deeming whether what the prosecutor is alleging is the level of crime, as in a felony level of crime it is. And by the way, it is worth noting, let's assume everything is approved to go to trial, and he faces all these counts, and he's found guilty. He'd be unlikely to serve a day in jail. Nobody else who has been guilty of this crime has served time. It'd likely be probation and a fine.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how it all unfolds. Thanks so much for joining us, Chuck. Well, NBC News will be bringing you special coverage from the former president's arraignment throughout the day. We'll also be keeping you updated online and on our 11 Alive News app. Just scan that QR code that you're seeing. It's free to download right in your app store.